Let's see. Give me a color. Green. How is that? Is that good? All right. All right. Let's get this started. I know it's late. Maybe you all want to go home and rest. Instead, you decide to come to the balance. So we say it together. From the top all the way to the bottom. What goes down must stay down, and what comes up may come down. Now it is time to grow. This is the almighty paragraph. You will see things you never thought you would. Coming through each day by day. Looking at things that you've not seen before and finding new types of situations. New faces, unfamiliar places. But in these circumstances, you are learning who you really are. And now you find out you are not home, you are not with your parents, but now you are in the real world alone. Are you afraid, or are you open to it? Are you afraid? Are you learning who you are? Is this the world that you find yourself to chill in or to sit in? Is this the world that you thought you'd be raised and lived in? Are you even ready to begin living? Put yourself to the test and see if this is really the place to be for yourself. but we will always be moving in the sea where the water will take you. Drift along in the waves. Almighty paragraph. Thank you. You're welcome. So, not many people. I'm Mark Serlings. I am Mark Serlings. And, yeah, I was not supposed to be a host here. I was just helping out, and then they put me as a host on the list. And I haven't really made my appearance because I've been moving. I was moving from a different state, actually. But here I am. And it's very hot in here, so I put a ventilation. And put a chair. So we can all sit down together and really think and really put ourselves to the test. Hello. How are you? Usually that's how you start off a conversation. When you see someone, you say, how are you? Hello. Or hi. The basics that we sometimes put ourselves in. Hello. How are you? Right? We say that sometimes. So in this world, are we all family or friends? Sometimes, we're going to sit down in a place and there's other people there and we're kind of alone. We mostly would sit away from people, mostly sit by ourselves or leave some seats separated from us and someone else. Or other times, you wait till your friend gets there, you don't sit at all. I don't know what you all do. But when we were little at home, things were a lot different. We put our trust in our parents and live by that trust. And as you grow older, you already know, you've been coddled a lot at home, but it's time to move out. Baby birds can't stay in the nest forever. So now we're in this world. You realize parenting, people, is the key. So however your parents have been or are, and however you're going to parent your children in the future, that really matters. Your influence on your friends and others, that matters also. But nothing matters more than where you came from, because that's how you come about. Some people are raised really tough, others are not, and it really shows. That's right. You can tell. You can tell who has been hit and who hasn't been hit. Today's idea that was been passed around, it's a famous idea. But clearly, this idea is not well known and practiced in society. It's the idea that fear leads to hate. Fear leads to hate. Fear leads to hate. 4 words, 4 simple words that are the most powerful things in our society, in our world, not just society, in our world. Human history, mankind is not known for being that friendly. It's not known for being, it's not known for being all nice and friendly all the time. Mankind is mostly compared as barbaric or savages. Sometimes we call ourselves animals. We could be animals. But we're people, damn it. We are the people. But what makes us so crazy is the idea that fear leads to hate. Because we don't consider that. We're fearful of one another. There are principles that we establish that make us fearful of others. When you're younger, your Parents should have taught you not to talk to strangers or open the door for anyone. And then you ended up growing up. Or you're taught that this person is bad, that's good. You're taught all these things. You cannot live fearful of certain things. If you are afraid of death, then you're not going to live. You're not truly going to live because you're going to be afraid of death. You're going to look of all ways to avoid it, and you're going to end up not living. Because death happens no matter what. You cannot be afraid of the inevitable. That's like being afraid of blinking. I'm going to do everything to avoid blinking. Don't. So do not stop yourself from living, because you do that, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt your development. It's going to hurt your activities. It's going to hurt relationships. It's going to hurt your life. I'm sure you've heard of people that stay in all day. People that don't stayed in their house for years that don't come out. I've seen it on TV, good old TV shows, comedies. And it's like, joking about how people stay in their house forever. Ha 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 ha. But that's a serious issue that we really need to take into consideration. Fear. You cannot live by fear. Fear is another one of those words. Like you get words like courage, happiness, fear. It's like a feeling. But fear's a strong feeling such as love and hate. So, have you heard that there's a thin line between love and hate? Do you want to know what that thin line is? It's fear. Fear. Fear rhymes with beer, but I still drink. Fear is the thin line between love and hate. You can love something, then you become afraid of it or intimidated by it, and you're going to fall away from it. You can love living, but then you're going to be afraid of death, and then you're going to hate. Fear eats the soul. Because our souls are meant to fly free and fly high. Fear puts our souls in a cage. Fear puts our souls in cages. What are we afraid of? When we're afraid of something, we're going to do everything in our power to avoid it. Our body tenses up because, it's trying to push away. Trying to do everything in its power to avoid something. If you're fearful of something, you're not going to approach it. If you're afraid of the dark, you're not going to go into this room behind me. Most likely, because it's a black hole. How can we overcome fear? How can we? It's a good question that we have to think about. What would we do? What would you do if you were to see an accident happen before you, like a car accident, and that you were the only person there? Are you going to run away? Or are you going to help out? Or are you going to get sick? Okay, no. What would you do if there was a fire? You're going to run away? Run for safety? Or are you going to try to take things out and help others? Think about this. These kind of situations, you picture them in your mind, scenarios, and it kind of puts your, what would you honestly do? Situations. Would you hide away from the mob? Or because there's an angry mob, you're going to hide away from it and desert, rat out all your family and friends because you want to do what is politically correct in society? Or stand by your own courage and truth, what would you do? What would you do if, there was a child in front of you? Are you going to smile? Are you going to move away from it? Are you going to offer it a helping hand? Are you going to wave at it? What would you do if it was you and another person standing by each other and someone pulls out a weapon? Are you going to defend the person? Are you going to tell you to run? These are terrible situations that I wish that none of us, no, not all are terrible situations like seeing a child, but, some of these I mentioned are terrible situations that I wish upon no one. But it really has to let you know, you have to ask yourself, what would I do in this situation or that? Because you can get a perspective on how fearful you really are, or how much fear would play into your actions in life or death situations. And it's tragic, but fear is taking over a lot of us. In times such as these, and in times of all of history. We look back in history. One of the best examples I can use, because a lot of us are pretty familiar on it, is the historical tragedy of the Holocaust, where people are, we people as humankind are brothers and sisters, naturally, of course, all of us humankind, but brothers and sisters were turning on one another for the sake, of fear. There was fear going on, fear of a certain type of culture, fear of a certain type of people. So they inflicted this fear upon all of society. They told everyone, avoid these people. They told everyone, these people have germs, diseases. These people are the reason why the world is coming, so bad. And these people take your money. They're playing superstitions and such terrible ideas they are incorporating. And so what do you know? You get everyone all fearful against a common enemy, which is not an enemy because it is a fellow human being. But you got everyone in your group afraid of them. Fear leads to hate. Okay, so now that we have our problem, let's make our solution, they said. Their solution, put them away from society, exterminate them, turn them in. If you know any of them, go turn them in to the authorities and we'll handle them from there. And then, sooner or later, they were being murdered. It is genocide. And I have to use these straight up blunt terms because this is what fear does. Fear destroys us and puts us, fear is our greatest downfall. Okay? Like I said, fear, it gets your soul and puts it in a cage. Like I said, fear eats you up. Don't let it do it. What is the solution? Fear is even happening in this day. Racism. People are racist because they're fearful, I don't know. Fear leads to hate. So there's something along these lines because racism is a big expression of hate based on skin color or identity. So what's the fear? The fear is probably that based off of a stereotype that a different race is very barbaric, very savage-like. This is what racism throughout history and now is. A certain race is barbaric and savage-like, and my race is more superior. That's the idea of racism. The superiority of races. So you use this race to sort of make yourself more superior and make others inferior. And then from there, you want to conquer them and sort of, put them away from you. And say, if you don't assimilate to my way, then there's no way to get out. Racism occurs in many ways. There's racism in current society, which is based on stereotypes. That a certain people are worse than others. They're saying, if you're this skin color, you're an absolute racist. Racism goes all ways. Whether you're white or colored, white or black, you can be racist to anyone. It's based off of ideas of superiority and stereotypes. It's a terrible thing. But it's based off of fear, one way or another. And like I said, what is it? Fear leads to hate. Fear leads to hate. Fear of a certain thing. Happens everywhere, anytime. It's in our world. Most likely, if you don't like someone, let's say there's a person that we see in real life, and we don't like them because we're intimidated by what they do or how they talk, how they look, how they dress, and what they do, and we're intimidated by it. So that leads for us to dislike a person. There's just plain old hate based off of nothing. And then there's fear-based hate. And we see it all over. Fear-based hate. Nowadays, fear-based hate exists, in racism and also in, this whole virus situation. There's a virus out there. We all know that. There's a virus. And it's pretty bad. It's a bad virus that we had to shut down everything. Unfortunately. A lot of people lost their jobs and livelihoods, but, there's a virus out there. Nowadays, based off of this virus, there's some types of discriminations going on. For certain people. They say if you don't want to, get yourself injected, to keep me safe from this virus, then you're a bad person and you shouldn't be allowed in this restaurant or you shouldn't be allowed to take this job. Because we know there's a vaccine for this virus. And all of us should get this vaccine because, for the better good. But not everyone wants it. Not everyone wants the shot. And we cannot hate one another because we want or don't want a shot. But people do that anyways. People are turning on one another, firing people, saying, you need to get a simple just... And they don't want it for understandable reasons. They don't want to get hurt. The reason why people don't want a shot most likely is because they think it interferes with some type of belief of theirs. And others are skeptical because they don't want something bad. They don't want to grow 3 arms or they don't want to get mutated. Something like that. Guys, whatever. We're still people in the end. We're still human beings. And we should not be turning on one another because someone chooses to get something or not. We shouldn't be turning on one another because someone's doing something else different than you. People are fearful of their maybe political opponents, most likely, or fearful of people who think differently too. So because of this fear, it causes wars. It causes hate. War between one another. Because the fear is that these different ideas are going to plague society in their own way. So by doing so, society is plagued and they're going to spread all these nasty ideas to one another. It's very intimidating. It's very unfortunate too. Fear leads to hate because we're afraid of certain ideas. And then we don't want them to expand in ways. And then, more people have ideas and we don't want to live by those ideas because it affects our ideas. So then there's wars between them. Fear and hate. They hate each other because of ideas. But we should not be fearful of one another. That's the moral of the story of all of this. The main purpose of all of this is we are people. We are all people. Humans with hands and legs and a heart and a brain and eyes and nose and mouth and neck and body. And we're humans. Have a heart. We are people. This is us. This is our lives. We're not trying. We shouldn't be trying to, hate each other. We shouldn't be trying to put ourselves against each other. We shouldn't be trying to fall away from each other. Because we're people. We should be coming together. That's what the balance is about. The balance is about having a better understanding and incorporating that understanding and that viability and all that, and making it patience. People used to be afraid of me when I was younger because, yes, I was a terrible influence when I was young. I grew up in the streets, in the ghettos, and I've done some bad things. I've been arrested many times too. I'm a dead man walking because the truth is I should be dead. I should have been shot long ago. And I did something crazy. I ran away. I let them kill my friend because I was afraid. Okay, I was afraid. Fear could take each other's lives. That's gang violence, by the way. Because they're afraid of each other because differences. Hate each other. Why do you hate each other? What's happening? Put our lives away. For what? For what? Fear eats the soul, and fear takes the soul through hate. Okay? We're not trying to get this hate going and live by it, because that's what we shouldn't be doing, but it's happening. People, do not listen to the masses, or do not listen to the message because there's a lot of people repeating the message. Do not listen to the bad things because you're outnumbered. Stay true to your heart and to the principles of balance, because we're people. We're humans. We were not designed to hate. But I guess you could say, maybe, we weren't designed to hate. We weren't. There's weapons out there. There's all about bad things out there Because people have manipulated. People are afraid. So they get weapons. And they have to use it if they do, just because they're afraid. People are afraid. Fear leads to hate. Everyone, most families, they probably have a gun at the house because they're afraid of someone breaking in. All families probably do. So you see, take a human life because you're afraid. That's crazy. You know, because it's gotten to that point where we're willing to just hurt others because we're afraid. Have you all been looking at this? A 17-year-old boy was in court because he killed people who were attacking him also. So full-on fight. You know, there were criminals that, attacked him for some reason. And then he killed 2 of them. And I was in court. And people don't like that. And people are afraid. Lives are being lost due to fear-based hate. Fear-based hate takes our lives. Fear-based hate destroys us, wrecks us. What is going on? Where is our parents? Where is our childhoods? When we all used to just sit back and all what we would worry about is, going down the slide or enjoying a good soda or ice cream and not having to fight for our lives. Where are the days? Where have they gone? Where has the days gone? Where we used to, the biggest problem of ours, it's not a matter of life and death, but more of a matter of fun, of laughter, of good time. We've fallen. We have fallen. Because of fear. Because of fear. And how does this fear grow? How does this develop? I remember in our lives, 1 second we're here, the next second we're there. Snap of a finger in the speed of light. And how did this change happen? We used to be this small. And, the world is just infinite. The universe is infinite. We used to be this small, taking in life and learning. Just having it all simple. And now, there are people in the streets or in the fields, and they're just hurting each other because of fear. You live by fear? Do not let fear corrupt you or eat you up. You're supposed to live based off of love. Live on the balance, people. What is balance? We have to live on balance. Balance ourselves. Balance all the things around us. And then we won't find ourselves plagued by fear. We won't find ourselves ruined by fear because we have balance, which works to hold us together. People, reach out. Reach out to those sitting next to you. Reach out to those who are near you. If you're watching it online or at home or in the future, reach out to anyone, your neighbors, people, your roommates, and if you live alone, go outside and just reach out. Reach out to the skies. Grab each other's hands and just hold them. And cross my heart till I die. that we are people, and we're here to live not on fear, because fear stops us from living, literally and figuratively, literally being death. If you're afraid of death, if you're fearful of it, you stop living. Or you can find yourself in situations that I used to, violence. It's terrible. But fear eats the soul. Don't let fear mess you up. Don't let fear take away the true meaning of life for all of us. Don't let fear stop you from living. And do not let fear make you forget that we people, brothers and sisters, are no different. Do not let fear take that ideas away, those principles. We're all together. We should never be pushing or discriminating or dividing each other away over bullshit. Never. We're freaking people. Human heart. We all have it. Our hearts are not meant to be afraid. That just closes. Our minds are not meant to be closed. Open your minds for one another. Open your hearts for one another. And just reach out. In the end, you will be home. No matter what, you always go home. You always find yourself home one way or another. Moment of sorrow. Everyone, think to yourselves anything that causes, anything that makes you feel bad. Think it to yourself, please. And just reflect. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is the balance. This is El Musical. The balance is a symbol of balance. We must be balanced with all of our surroundings in life. The musical is a symbol of all the sound around us and all of the things around us in our lives. So the musical is everything in our lives. The music, the trees, the natures, the people. The balance is us, surrounded by everything. Us balancing everything around us. So these are models that we have to live by. As we know, let's see. As we know, it may be the first and last meal that we shall devour. For some it will burn, and for others it will be the emptiness in our hearts. And together, as chips and water, it'll make us and help us to come together. Now I have to make pure juice. I'll do that in this room. I already made the pure juice beforehand. It was set to drink. For every tears, there is laughter somewhere else. When it's one's fortune is someone else's misfortune. But when we all come together, show each other your love. When we all come together, all the barriers will be broken. Our hearts finally get touched. We're all people under the sky. We all deserve the best. will deserve the best. We thank everyone in our lives for all they've done for us. We help them be us. And this occasion, we'll come together in honor of them. What someone gets, someone else will get. The balance come together. Now let's all eat chips and drink water. Go ahead. Eat chips and drink water. Delicious. As we acquire new lives, we learn to accept our differences and cherish every moment of our lives. So we will come together and help others to come together and live a new world and live our best life. Yeah. So, everyone, long day, another long day, but we get through it. We had a long day, all of us do, but we get through it. And just remember, in the end, one way or another, you will find yourself to be home. You will be home in the end. We're going home. We're coming home. We're going home. We're going to be home. I just moved, actually, from a different state, which is farther from here. So it's going to take me a while to make myself at home, to feel at home, but, we'll be home. All of us are going to be home. And it may be different from when we were little. We may feel homesick. Our parents may not be with us, or something that's different. We're going to be home. We're going to be resting. So everyone, please drive home safe. Drive home safe. And I'm going to say it again, drive home safe. Don't drink and drive. Drive home safe. And I said it again. I'll say it 5 times, so that was the 4th time. So drive home safe. Never let your guard down, life. Don't let fear mess you up. Don't let fear control you. You have to control fear, guys. Control fear. Don't let fear control you. Control it. Just step on it. Put your good hard grasp on it. And when we get home, everyone, go to sleep. Please. Just go to bed and sleep and rest. It's almost Thanksgiving. We're gonna have a balance on Thanksgiving. One balance, please. But guys, just go home and rest. Sleep in tomorrow. Just sleep and relax and just take it easy. So give some time to yourself to just take it easy. Please. And make yourself at home. No matter where you are, whether in the car or here or anywhere, at home, work, make yourself at home. Because in the end, you're going to be home, wherever that may be. So just get some rest, sleep well, and until then, happy trails to all of you. and best of luck. Until you meet again. Thank you! And good night, everyone. Good night. Please. Sweet dreams. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Say your prayers. Good night. Let's just stay safe. Thank you all.